There's a new pot-based prescription drug that could receive FDA approval, and this is really throwing a huge monkey wrench into all of the discussions about the war on drugs, into the safety and other discussions of marijuana that we've been having. This is a British pharmaceutical company that's completing some clinical trials of a drug which is derived directly from marijuana. And the hope is to have it receive approval from the Food and Drug Administration by the end of next year. So what's the obvious issue here? I mean, the drug contains THC and some other marijuana-related elements, which I don't have here in my notes. And it's been approved in Canada. It's been approved in New Zealand. A lot of European countries use it. It's to relieve muscle spasms associated with MS. What do you see as the obvious problem with this drug in the U.S.?
Abuse, addiction. I don't know. What else is there?
I'm not saying with the drug itself. I'm saying with the entire drug industrial complex.
I'm blanking on this one.
Here's what's going to happen. If at least according to those who are advocating for the legalization of medical marijuana, they are saying that if this passes, it will create fodder and a new argument to say, hold on, we can develop safe pharmaceutical items which we can profit from. We don't need to legalize marijuana itself because there's much more money to be made from a drug like this if marijuana itself is not legalized. So that's the problem. We're kind of skipping ahead and saying, hey, you know what? Not only are we not going to legalize marijuana, let's go the next step and we're actually going to create pharmaceutical regulated drugs derived from marijuana. Now that's going to be changing around the entire financial complex around the drug, which is really what it's all about.
All about money.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the drug war really is all about. It's the rights to profits. As soon as Big Pharma figures out how to profit from a marijuana pill, for lack of a better term, all of a sudden they're going to be all about using it. But the prevention of the legalization of marijuana is because it would come at the expense of pharmaceutical industry profits, and it would also actually shrink government significantly. Imagine if you don't need all of a sudden DEA to focus on marijuana. You also eliminate the need to bring it in dangerous ways involving killings and beheadings from south of the United States. You change the entire paradigm, and that's really what the problem is.
Aren't there already THC pills that are FDA approved that are used for cancer patients and people who are terminally ill?
I don't know that there are in the U.S. Do you know about that, Natan?
No, I don't think so. But what I was going to say about this is that it's kind of the risk of using the medical marijuana issue as a point to then convince people to support, drug legalization in terms of recreational use. I mean, if there should be a movement that specifically talks about the recreational use, because if not, big pharma is always going to be able to do this especially in the future with development of drugs, based on street drugs.
So what you're saying is the case to be made about legalizing marijuana should not depend on medicinal uses, because then it opens up the door to say, hey, we can find other ways to accomplish the same things pharmacologically. So it should be an argument that says, maybe it's an argument that says cigarettes are way more dangerous and those are legal. There's really no reason marijuana should be illegal. Is that kind of the argument you're making?
Yeah, in point of fact, I read an article recently about cigarettes being made that aren't harmful. So it's like, it'll still be addictive. It just won't be harmful. So so the same argument goes against cigarette smoking. Even if it's not harmful in one regard, you should still be against something that's addictive.
I think no matter how you cut it, you're not supposed to smoke things. I think smoking anything clearly has a risk attached to it.
Is that true? I mean, I don't think that that's true. There are things you can inhale that don't necessarily have negative repercussions, right? I mean, let's take the extreme example, steam, right? I guess steam can cause asthma for certain people, but steam doesn't have any...
Steam can cause an asthma attack.
Well, it's kind of the way you refer to it. Smoke, what Lewis is saying isn't steam, it's smoke.
It's smoke.
Smoking anything is probably bad for you.
It's something burning. I mean, sure, there are plenty of gases we can inhale that have no effect on us or are beneficial to us. But when you're burning something carbon-based, you're not supposed to be inhaling that.
Well, let me make clear. I actually don't really care at all about the legalization of marijuana. In fact, as I've told before on the show, I have a neighbor situation that involves some incredibly annoying marijuana smoking. I actually can't stand the smell. I find it incredibly annoying. But legally and looking at all the evidence, there just doesn't really seem any reason, given what is legal, to continue this, especially if we consider lives lost, people incarcerated, money spent, DEA, people dying in Mexico, all of it together. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's a monumental waste of time, money, and resources in general.
Let's take a break. If you have an iPhone or Android phone, if you go to Stitcher.com/David Pakman Show and use promo code DAVID, you're both supporting the show and getting the show on the go. I recommend you do that. Stitcher.com/David Pakman Show.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.